Chief Meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, we kept our eye on a steady cloud cover, then around lunchtime saw those winds pick up, and then a steady dust storm made its way through. More hazy than anything, not nearly as severe as earlier this week, but by tomorrow it's going to be as if nothing ever happened. So start making those plans now, because by Saturday, all the way down into those 50s, so it's looking like a 30-degree drop, but by tonight, only down into those lower 50s and not upper 40s. Take a good look at these temperatures over the last 24 hours, down into those lower 40s, fighting back and forth with those southerly winds. Then we warmed up into those mid-70s, and we're already cooling off. We'll see how much heat we hold on to with sort of these overcast skies. But by tomorrow, things clearing up for a beautiful Friday to the end of a crazy week. 74 in San Angelo. Everybody else joining us in those mid to lower 70s across the entire region right now. 75 in Sterling City, 74 down there in Junction. Looking like 5 degrees across the entire Concho Valley if you go from Coleman all the way down there to Ozona. So I'm getting all my C words mixed up. But dew points and humidity indices, seeing the return of that instability with that cloud cover. Dew points are up there in those 40s and those 30s. Humidity indices also in those 30s and those 20s, but you saw the drought monitor still dealing with that dry, severe weather. Now, instability or shades of green pushing all the way up into Nebraska. Severe weather season is here. Now, they're dealing with a whole lot of winter weather alerts still. Slow moving storm as the moisture tracker shows you where the dry air is going to slide in for a beautiful Friday. Keeping our eye on the Gulf Coast because of some stronger concentrations of blues going to slide their way in. Now, that's going to cool us all the way down into those 50s here in the Concho Valley, but we're on the warm up by next week all the way up into those 90s looking like. Upper level wind showing us the cutoff low that's going to make its way through, then the ridging for the weekend, but keeping our eye on this cutoff low again around the Four Corners. By this weekend, a good opportunity for some light rain, but we're going to get a good idea of the Edwards Plateau or that San Angelo bubble you guys are talking about. Upper level cloud cover showing you the monster winter storm still barreling across the Rocky Mountains. That's where all those high winds are showing up here in the Concho Valley. More dry air off Baja, but we're keeping our eye off the west coast for those colder storms to start making their way in, because you hear it, winter's not quite over. We're on the lookout for hard freezes, but I don't think there's going to be one anytime soon. Severe weather is all the way from California up into Wyoming, and we take you down to the surface and you see all those red flag alerts. So if you have to go outside, no burning, no fires, nothing, just keep it safe and just pretty much flameless. When we're looking at this cloud cover making its way in, we're really just sort of trying to nail down if we'll see any rain, and this is what we're talking about when we see this cloud cover making its way in. Now, by tomorrow morning, seeing some light streaks of low cloud cover as I move out of the way. By Saturday morning, keep your eye on the edge of the Edwards Plateau. Look at the size of this sort of barrier of moisture. We won't see any rain as a result, but that's a good example of the topography here in the Concho Valley and that bubble you guys are always talking about. So tonight, dropping back down into those comfortable 50s as that dust settles down in some breezy conditions. Then tomorrow, up into those beautiful 80s. So go fishing, go golfing, go do anything, because it's going to be a great Friday night. Then that cold weather makes its way in underneath those clear skies. So we're going to go from those 80s all the way down into those 40s by Saturday in those 50s. Are we doing daylight savings time? We're going to find out by Sunday. Then we're on the warm up as we push all the way up into those 80s. On the lookout for another dust storm before we push up into those 90s, while those overnight lows go from those 40s, those 30s, up into those 50s. Stay tuned. While the break, you're watching KSAN News at 5.